I tried recreating 7 Zelda characters in Baldur's Gate 3, and some of these turned out way better than I expected. From Link to Midna to Ganondorf, by the end I had a full lineup that actually feels like it belongs in BG3. So in this video, I'm going to show you all 7 builds and exactly how I made each one. So let's start things off strong with the hero of the series, Link. So Link is a Hylian, so I figured an elf would be a great fit for him so he can get those pointy ears. And after giving him blue eyes and lightening his lip tone a bit, I focus on the hardest part of his build, which is actually the hair. And I go with a mustard brown color, and since his iconic hat isn't in the game, I focus on recreating the hair shape he has in Breath of the Wild, and I combine 3 different hair pieces to achieve this. Then for his outfit, I'm just looking for different pieces that have that tunic silhouette. And for a lot of my builds, I'm only working with those 3 appearance slots, so for his accessory choice, I was torn between either gloves or a cape. And for dyeing his outfit, I knew I either wanted to go with classic green or Breath of the Wild blue, and I let the dyes decide. I equip him with a sword and shield, and I really feel like that pulls the look together. And for class, I think he's a viable candidate for a jack-of-all-trades build. And if you want to make this Link in your game, I've got a full tutorial for him on my page, and he works on all platforms. But with Link complete, it's time to move on to Midna, and she took a lot of creativity to get to feel right. I started off as a human, gave her blue skin, and chose a face with an eye shape that I liked. I made them bright orange and gave her purple makeup, and then chose a face tattoo to represent her tiara, because I knew I wanted to use a veil later for her headpiece. Then I move on to her hair, which is the hardest part to get to feel right. It's so unique, so what I do is combine 4 different pieces together to get the overall shape right. And I get to be a little creative with the back because it's covered by her veil normally. And of course, we had to give her some glowing teal tattoos. And then we can move on to outfit, which I was nervous about, but luckily the in-game mod manager has a lot of solid options. I found a veil and cloak that fit her perfectly, especially when dyed black and gold, and I pair that with a dress that matches her silhouette and some amazing jeweled glove and leg accessories. And for class, I'm thinking she'd make an amazing shadow sorcerer. And Midna's another character I've got a full step-by-step tutorial for on my channel. But with the Twilight Princess complete, next up we've got Ganondorf, and this one really comes down to getting the presence right. And I start off by making him the larger human body type and pick the most intimidating face I can find. I give his skin a dark grayish green tint and find a face tattoo that mimics a crown. I find some really awesome bloodshot orange eyes and use eyeshadow to create some dark circles to make them really pop. I give him dark red hair and eyebrows, a bit of a receding hairline, and some really sick mutton chops. I noticed his Breath of the Wild version had body tats, and if they've got them, I'm gonna use them. And then complete his look with a set of wispy push-backed bangs. Then for his outfit, I briefly considered going with a more minimal Breath of the Wild look, but figured the armored look was a bit more intimidating. I get a combination together inspired by his Twilight Princess look and dye it with a black and gold color scheme, and then pair that with a red cape and a longsword. And I think I'd multi-class him as Fiend Warlock and Oathbreaker Paladin. And if you do a Dark Urge playthrough, you could even turn into Ganon with the Slayer form. But with the Evil King complete, let's move on to a less problematic Gerudo character, Urbosa. And to start her off, I go elf with the buffer body type. I look for faces with strong and chiseled features, give her gold earrings though I wish I could find hoops, green eyes, purple eyeshadow, and a dark blue lip. Then we move on to the hardest part for her, which is hair, and getting the color right is fine. It's that dark red most Gerudos have, but the shape is where it gets difficult. I'm able to find something where the back feels really great, but it still is lacking some volume up top that I want. So if you have any favorite big hair mods in the mod manager of the game, send them my way. Now moving on to her outfit, I'm going with the circlet for her accessory, and then looking for crop tops paired with skirts, or maybe even a crop top with pants to go for what other Gerudos wear. And even though they're all normally running around the desert in heels, I couldn't find any that work with this jacked body type, so we go with sandals and a teal and gold color scheme. And for her class, I'm thinking Eldritch Knight so she can get up in your face but also have some cool lightning powers. And now with our champion complete, it's time to move on to the namesake of the series, Princess Zelda. And we're going with her Twilight Princess look. I choose a face that I really like the ear shape and eyelashes on, and give her blue eyes, some purple gemmed earrings, and really light makeup. I make her hair a dusty blonde, almost brown, and then I get really excited because I find a hairstyle that is so perfect for the Twilight Princess version of her. It even has some wraps and accessories built into it. And then for her outfit, I'm looking for a dress shape with a hanging tabard in the front. And I'm pairing this with a gemmed tiara as her accessory choice. I think a lot of the robes actually kind of work for Zelda, and then I'm just dyeing these with a white and purple color scheme. And actually, for most of the characters in this video, all of their outfits and outfit dyes are coming from just 2 mods. I'll link a longer video I have here that goes over those in greater detail. And to class Zelda, I think she'd make an amazing light domain cleric and maybe a dip-in fighter to get bow proficiency. But I feel like we can't make Zelda and not make her alter ego, so it's time to try Sheik, and this one was kind of tricky. And just like all of our other Hylians, we're starting out as an elf. And I swear somehow as Sheik, her ears are shorter, so I go with a different face and give her red eyes and lighten up her lip just a bit. And I'm going for Sheik's look that she has in Smash Bros, where she's got a longer braid. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One is because I know accessory-wise, I want to go with a mask. And the other is I just really like that look. And so I pair that hairstyle I like with a set of bangs that covers up one of her eyes just a bit. And then for her outfit, I knew I wanted to go with a mask for her accessory, and luckily I found a mod that added masks from Mortal Kombat. And I'm looking for form-fitting bodysuits with lots of coverage, and I find one that's great because it has a scarf accessory that kind of is a nod to her wraps. And I go with a light purple and gray color scheme. And for class, I was thinking assassin rogue mixed with a bit of swords bard so she can play her lyre. And now with Sheik wrapped up, we can finally move on to our final character. This one's a bit different than the others. We've got the Great Fairy. And wow, does she know how to leave an impression. This is like maybe the horniest Zelda character ever. We're going for the Ocarina of Time iteration of her, so giving her pink eyes, pink makeup, layered with some white makeup, and then a cherry red lip. And I really flip-flop here between 2 face choices. They both felt really good. And then I dye her hair that iconic bright magenta color. And then what I would say is in classic Great Fairy style, she decides to make things a little weird and uncomfortable. As I'm trying to give her her 3 ponytails, the game's physics were not loving that. But I did finally get a combination that works, and then switch the face one more time. Luckily, outfit was much more straightforward. I'd seen this Dryad outfit in the game and was itching for a chance to use it. I thought it was perfect for her and just needed to figure out what could go underneath it. And the Dragonborn underwear actually worked great, dyed green. And as far as class goes, I think she'd be really fun to play as an Archfey Warlock. And that's all 7 Zelda builds I've attempted in Baldur's Gate 3. If you want more Baldurized characters, I've got shorts, full tutorials, mod videos, and full series compilations here on this channel, and I also build these live every Sunday and Wednesday on YouTube. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next build.